along great now. I had my totally cool apartment in Santa Clarita that was about 30 minutes north of downtown Los Angeles. It needed a little fix-up, but was still fabulous. My best friend, Marcy Hanover, and I were giving killer purse parties. Though really, I hadn't had much time lately to plan a party. I had tons of really great friends, even though I hadn't seen any of them in a while. I still had my part-time sales clerk job at Holt's department store. And, yeah, I only made about $8 an hour, but it was okay. And the best part of my life was that my mom and I were getting along great. I left my Honda in a parking garage off Sepulveda Boulevard in Sherman Oaks and headed for the building that would be my new home away from home. It was a gorgeous Southern California morning in September. Nearby were lots of office buildings, banks, apartment complexes, and the Sherman Oaks Galleria, with terrific shops and restaurants. Showing up for the first day on the job could be intimidating for some people, but not me. Let's just say that I'd done this quite often in the last few years. I'd worked as a lifeguard, receptionist, file clerk, and 2 weeks at a pet store before moving on to a fantastic job in the accounting department of the Pike Warner law firm last fall. Things hadn't turned out as well as I'd hoped. There was that whole administrative leave, investigating pending thing. But I'd moved on. The one constant in my life, employment-wise, was my job at Holt's. I'd taken a part-time sales clerk job there about a year ago, and, well, there had been a few, okay, more than a few, problems. But every job had its moments, didn't it? That's where I'd met my boyfriend, Ty Cameron. He was the latest in 5 generations of his family to own and be completely obsessed with running the chain. Plus, he'd opened several boutiques he'd named Wallace, after some ancient ancestor. And had just finished negotiations for Holtz International. Ty was, a way hot boyfriend. He looked fabulous in his expensive suits and drove a totally cool Porsche. Our breakup was something we decided on together, and it was for the best. Really. So I'm perfectly okay with it. Perfectly okay. Perfectly. The lobby of the building that housed LA Affairs was all glass and red marble. A lot of well-dressed men and women streamed into the elevators, carrying briefcases and messenger bags. Everybody seemingly anxious to get into their offices and start the day. I'd selected a black business suit, one of the 8 Marcy had helped me shop for a few weeks ago, for my first day on the job, and carried my Louis Vuitton satchel and day planner. Marcy had offered to come to my apartment last night and help me pick out my outfit, as a best friend would, but I'd told her not to. I'd been offered a job here at LA Affairs a few months ago, but had blown it off to go to London with Ty. After my fabulous job had ended a few weeks ago, Marcy had suggested I contact them and see if they were still interested in hiring me. And since Marcy was almost always right about things, I gave them a call. They got back to me right away with an offer. The woman in HR hadn't even asked to see my updated resume, which was a real break for me. Long story. I got out of the elevator on the 3rd floor and walked down the carpeted hallway to the double doors that had LA Affairs printed on them in gold lettering. I pushed my way inside and spotted the receptionist standing behind her desk. She jumped when she saw me. "Oh, my!" She waved her hands as if she were doing a jazz routine and said, "Are you ready to party?" I remembered her from when I'd been in the office a few months ago. She was probably somewhere on the high side of 40, with blonde hair sculpted into the shape of a football helmet, a little on the heavy side, and dressed in one of those tweed suits that make you look like you're wearing a carpet. She giggled and clasped her hands together. "They make me say that." "I'm Haley Randolph," I said. "I'm starting work here today." "Oh, my! Well, you really are ready to party, aren't you?" she said and laughed. "Welcome. I'm Mindy."